Hey, it's been a while. My mental health cared about nobody's feelings, especially mine. So let's get into that. Let's get into some book mail and what's going on around. What's going on? Okay, so before y'all go, oh, you cut your hair and you were simultaneously having a mental, no. I cut my hair for two reasons. It actually came at the tail end when I was coming out of my depressive episode. I was finally like taking care of myself, and I'm looking at my hair. I'm like, damn. My hair is not doing well. Ever since I started, like, if you ever see me, I usually have really long blue knotless braids, or they like ombre sprite colors. And I love that hairstyle, but it also is heavy on my head. As I'm getting older, my hair is not as strong as it used to be. And because I was going through a lot of health problems last year, my hair took a lot of damage. And so coming out of the depressive episode, I was like, you know what? It's not worth keeping the length. I'm a big believer of health over length, so cut it off. Now, the color it is, I've been struggling with that, okay? Because I love playing with colors in my hair. I love it so much, but it was blonde at one point. Yikes. Okay, let me explain something here. So I liked the blonde, but also I was very insecure with the color. So that's why I say yikes, because I personally was insecure. Carry on. It looked bad, and this is what I settled on, and I'm just gonna let this grow out. So if you like it, cool. If you don't, please don't tell me, okay? I'm very sensitive about my shit. I have major depression and anxiety, but it's mostly like the depression. And one of the things I do is isolate. And talking to one of my best friends, I was just telling them, I'm like, look, hey, I've been going through this. And they were like, yeah, I would do the same thing too until I got on antidepressants. Like after something major, it'd be a hard crash. And I'm like, oh shit, that did happen. Because while I enjoyed, the festivals that I was going to and all of that stuff, I had a huge crash afterwards. And yeah, so I would love to go to therapy and like get that taken care of, but right now just finances says no. Finances also says, girl, you cannot be buying books right now as well. But the goal is to be back in therapy by next year. Yes. Until then, I am just focusing on things that bring me joy, things that I can do within the bandwidth that I have. And that means that I'm just going to focus more on my YouTube, and then just doing short clips from my long form videos onto everything else, and every once in a while doing something different. I can't spread myself too thin these days. I need to protect what mental capacity I do have right now. So yes, that's what I'll be doing, which means that you guys will get to see more consistency. Yay. So I think I'm just gonna focus on this and my Substack, because I still want to write. I still want to get back into writing. So if you have not seen that, there's only like a few things on my Substack right now. So if you want to check that out, go ahead. All right, so let's get into some book mail, because during that depressive episode, I went and bought a lot of stuff. I'm not going to show that right now. It was mostly comics. But I also got some stuff from publishers and some authors. So let's go into that. I love Tor, and they sent me a couple of books. And the first one they sent me is City in Glass by Nevo. I specifically requested this one because I loved, hold on, let me get it. I love the Singing Hill cycle. Like, some of my favorite, this was such a great series, okay? So because of that, I was like, I'm gonna read Nevo's work, and this is the most recent one. So I was like, let me request this, see if they'll give it to me. So I'm very excited about this. This is a standalone novel, so like this is a departure from the novellas. I know that they have Siren Queen that's out. I'm gonna get the audiobook from my library for that. Okay, so this is interesting. This one is about a demon who is essentially taking care of this city, Azrael, right? She's mothered, married, and mad in the city and its people for generations, and built it into a place of joy, desire, revelry, and riot, right? But then angels come and the city falls. So now she's having to like deal with that and process that, and then also deal with this angel who was part of the destruction of the city, who is now like bound to the city. So they're having to like reshape the city in a way. I knew there was a reason why I asked for this. This is gonna get read over the summer, definitely. Also, like, even though this is a novel, it is less than 212 pages. I can do this. Right? Like I can do this. I'm going to. Alright, another thing that was sent to me by Forge is Masquerade. Why did I ask for this one? I think this is the right. This one is reimagined 15th century West Africa. Oh. Okay, so has anybody ever played Civilization? It's a great computer game. Specifically Civilization 4. Civilization 6 I have on my iPad. It's okay, but nothing tops Civilization 4, right? That is a term for, like, you basically build a civilization from like nothing, and you create world domination in a bunch of different ways. You can win by like war, you can win through the UN, you can win through cultural stuff. I personally like doing cultural because I'm a punk, but I also am a punk with an overwhelming army because I do believe in overwhelming force. And I'm also like, I get panicked whenever the barbarians come and they like you gotta go to war, people. Very American of me, I know. But this, long story short, this map looks like it was in Civilization. Very much looks like Civilization. So that alone has me going, yeah, definitely, sure, we'll read this. It's weird, like the things that get you interested in a book. If you can, just comment below, like, what is the weirdest thing that has got you interested in a book? Obviously for me, it's a map that reminds me of one of my favorite video games. Okay, so this one is, like I said, it's reimagined 15th century West Africa. The true cost of one woman's fight for freedom, self-discovery, and the lengths she'll go to secure her future. And I'm all about a woman finding herself in books, especially in fantasy. So this one I'm very, very interested in. And also, like, the cover is very, very beautiful. I have an ARC for this, so I think I'm going to do a giveaway for the ARC on my Instagram. And this is the finished copy that Tor sent me, so thank you. I don't even remember, did I? I probably did ask for this. Alright, this is another fantasy book. So this is The Blood of Old Kings. Alright, an empire run on necromancy. Dead sorcerers are the lifeblood. Yeah. Oh shit, look at this. It says, there is no escaping the empire. Even in death you will serve. I like that. Not that I like the idea of that, because nobody's trying to work in this lifetime. But, like, I like, hopefully, let me see. Hopefully this is something where they're dismantling their kind of system. And that is going to be interesting. Alright, the courses are wrapped in chains and drained in magic to feed the unquenchable hunger for imperial conquest. Fuck. Born with magic, Arian has become resigned to her dark fate, but when the voice of a long-dead sorcerer begins to speak inside her head, she listens. There may be another future for her if she's willing to fight for it. Miles away beneath the volcano, yes, a seven-eyed dragon also wears the Empire's chain. Before the Imperial fists closed around their lands, it was the people's sacred guardian. There's a dragon. I love my dragons. I mean, obviously, right? I love my dragons. I love Yes, okay. 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 This will be read by the end of the year. This is wow. Yes. And this is from an award-winning Korean author, Sung-il Kim, and translated by the world-renowned Anton Her. Yeah, so this is a translated work. Period. Like I said, I'm trying to do a lot more translated works and stuff, so like, yes. Okay. So far, so good. Publishers have been good to me, or at least Tor has been. Okay. So this is one that so this is a box that I got. So she's a bookstagram stash lifestyle. She's been talking about like her personal trials that she's been going through with grief and stuff, and like if you ever get a chance, look at the AJ stuff. But she came into my DMs and was like, hey, you know, I have a friend who has a book, you know, I'm looking to see if anybody will read her stuff, and she's a black woman. I'm like, I'm all for black women, because even though I do read majorly fantasy, I am 1000% for anything. I'm rooting for everybody black, basically. I do read a lot of other stuff, right? Fantasy and horror is just like my go-tos. I will read just about anything though. So yes, this is cute. Outsider Advantage. So I'll be honest, this one borders on like just taking a glance through it. It does border a little bit on self-help. That's really not my vein, my interest in books. But like I said, I'm rooting for everybody black, basically, especially black women. We are supporting each other. So this is definitely The Outsider Advantage by Sierra Rogers, and she has a fashion brand. And if people don't know much about me, even though I do like walk around in mostly t-shirts and hoodies, when I leave my house, I'm bomb as fuck. I'm a bad bitch. 1000%. So yes, this was cute. Alright, this is the last one, and I think this is an indie book, I think, because prior to my hiatus, you see me trying to like open this. So like prior to my hiatus, I had a couple people in my DMs saying, hey, it is not, in fact, indie. It is Blackheart Man by Nalo Hopkinson. This is great. This is wonderful. Okay, so in the beginning of finding, you know, black sci-fi fantasy authors, obviously Octavia Butler was one of the first, and this was in the Newark Public Library out in Newark, Delaware, right? And I'm scanning looking for black sci-fi fantasies. It was a very intentional move. The first book I ever found was Kindred, and then when I read it, I was like, at the time I couldn't like handle anything like neo-slave narrative, so I was like, I can't do this, but I know this author is black, so let me go through their stuff. And then I read the Xenogenesis series first, right? So I picked up Dawn, and then I was walking down the aisle looking for more, and then I turned the corner, and at the very bottom shelf, Brown Girl in the Ring was there, and it was something about the front of that book, and I was like, I'm not gonna get this yet, but I'm going to read this book. And after I like inhaled all of Butler's stuff, I went back and ended up reading Brown Girl in the Ring. One of my favorite books of all time. I have a good portion of Nalo Hopkinson's work, and to know I got an email from the publisher and was like, hey, do you want this? And I was like, yes, of course I do. Oh my goodness, I can't even tell you what this book is about, but it's Nalo Hawkinson. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. And because this one comes out August 20th, okay, I'm gonna read this in July so that I can like give a really good in-depth review for it. Oh my goodness. I'm not gonna say any more about it, but Black Man Heart. Something I like about books, and please, I know this is terrible to say. It is so bad to say. But I found that I enjoyed this through Something Is Killing the Children. And I'm not even going to say it. It sounds bad. I'm not going to say it. Just know that something similar happens in this book. And it immediately caught my attention. I'm like, yeah, sure. We're going to read this. I'm not going to say it. Oh, I sound bad. I really do think that when you read fantasy, like, there's a lot that you realize that you like that may be disturbing. Yeah, cool. So, welcome back to myself. Welcome back to the channel. I am going to be posting my interviews that I should have posted a while back, but I'm here now and that's what we're gonna do. So I will see you guys very soon. Later.